Hey guys, welcome back. This is another edition of the Book Club. As you guys can see here on my screen, I have got my dear good friend, Mr. Miles Palacios. I may have said that right.
You got it.
Nice. It's only been 2 years and change, but I finally got your name right.
You're getting better.
Guys, we apologize. We have been delinquent on our book club duties. Life has just been coming up crazy, but we are coming back. We're going to be talking about Chapter 8, and this is and calls them to action. Now, any of you guys have seen the other shows and other stuff that we've done on this book. I honestly, Miles, and his alias is Smiley, guys. Just in case you see him there, he is Mr. Smiles. I think this is going to be one of the most impactful chapters of the entire book, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But Miles, first, welcome back, brother from another mother. How's life? How's the pandemic? What's new? What's your favorite color? And gosh dang it, that's a good looking bridge in the background over there, buddy.
Well, if you guys saw me last time, I probably had a buzz cut from shaving my own head. Now it's grown back. It's almost complete. My only debate in life is, do I continue to grow it or should I clean it up? So that's my only debate for days like this when I'm on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I cut it, but the rest of the days I'm like, let's see how far I can take it before it's ridiculous.
We'll just call it COVID hair. End of story, man. You know what? Just kind of get weird and have fun with it. Who cares?
Everybody's doing it, man. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. But if I told you to jump off a bridge because everybody was doing it, would you jump off a bridge?
Okay, this isn't jumping off a bridge, but have you ever watched that show, The Munsters, from the I think it was from the 40s or 50s?
Yeah.
There's a little vampire kid who kind of had a little mini fro, and that's the one I'm going for right now.
Okay, Munsters mini fro. I like it. So let's jump into this really quickly. Miles, kind of give me, of course, we're going to go into the chapter, and calls them to action. When you read over this, and you and I were talking pre-show in regards to kind of like we're highlighting stuff, and I've listened to this episode, I've listened to this chapter on my Audible probably 15 times, and I'm getting something new out of it every time. So let's jump into this thing. What the calls? First off, what was the biggest thing you got out of it? And then I'll let you lead off into the different calls to action. How's that?
Sure. Just to kind of recap, a couple of chapters ago, we met a guide as part of our journey. And then the last chapter, he gave us a plan. And this one is basically a call to action. So they had a couple of scenarios in here, but essentially, and you're right, because there was a lot of highlighting in this chapter. But there was a quote, and they mentioned a few movies like Rain Man, and then that movie Taken with Liam Neeson. The call to action was chase the bad guys because his daughter had been kidnapped. But the quote that I like to kind of start things off was, a real reason characters have to be challenged is because human beings do not make major life decisions unless something challenges them to do so.
Yeah.
So for the chapter, and for me, it's basically a call to action could be a button or something that says you have to act now. And unless it's impacting them, they're not going to make that purchase or that sale or a life decision to move. So this chapter, in essence, is a call to action. And I think the first section had to do with the power of the buy button. Have you seen that on the website before?
Yeah, actually, my good friend.
Now and then stop following you.
Oh yeah, my good friend Jake Wolf, who heads up the company called Clever Leads. That's on all the different landing pages, sales pages, websites. It's consistently and persistently right in front of you. Us as real estate agents and mortgage professionals, or whoever you guys are watching this right now, I think the one thing I know personally, I've been very bad at being vocal about buy now, work with me, schedule an appointment, do it now, take action, make it happen, don't wait. And I was running this morning and I was really going over that in my brain going, man, like, why have I always been so passive when it comes to asking for the business, even though I do ask for the business? But why aren't we the guy, like the other example in the book or the chapter is that the guy in the late night TV who would sit there and chop mattresses in half with a chainsaw, going, he's slashing prices. He's over the top, right? I think a lot of us fear to be that guy, but that dude probably sells a shit ton of mattresses. right?
So true.
I mean, it's like your mini fro. Why wouldn't you want to have a mini fro, and stand out?
There
I had
was
to do that.
I used to went to a seminar with a life business coach. There's a lot of them out there, and kind of get you pumped up, especially in the real estate industry. There's those the Buffinis or whatever their names
Mm-hmm.
are.
Yeah.
People go to those, but I went to one guy. We were talking about life and about business, and he had a normal voice, but every time he would ask this question, he'd bring up his voice a little bit, and me and my brother would always laugh. But what he said was pretty funny. He's like, "If you want something, what do you got to do? You
Ask.
ask for it. You
Yeah.
ask." That's what he would say. Just kind of
Yes.
but basically, yeah, you ask. The call to actions so that buy button or the ask is essentially putting it out there. Here, just click this. Here's a
Yeah.
button. Your life will change. This is it. Here it is. I'm never going to leave you. So I like the idea of the buy button. It makes things easy. Oftentimes with stuff that I buy, I'm one of those that like, if I want to buy something, I'll think about it. I'll research it. I'll figure everything about it. Maybe I'll put it off. And then that one moment of weakness, or I'll just be like, forget it. I'm just going to buy it.
Right.
Like if an ad pops up or something like that. It's just, if it's there, it makes it so simple.
Yeah, simplicity is something that I think a lot of people miss because we try to get all of our stuff out very, very quickly. When in regards, we don't need to have all of our stuff out there. We need to be the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. That's it, right? And just make it easy and clean. Make it non-congested. I mean, Amazon is probably the absolute master of this. And you think about what you want about Bezos, but I'll tell you one thing: that one click to buy button fucking gets me like every damn time. I'm like, well, do I want it? I'm just like, click. I'm like, okay, it's done. And I move forward.
I didn't realize I'm a late bloomer to Amazon. I've never had Amazon Prime. I didn't really like buying stuff online. And now I realize you click it and it already had saved your credit card info. So it's just so freaking easy. You just click it and it says, okay, it's done. I'm like, is it coming? Like, I don't understand. Is it that easy?
Yeah, it's that easy. And that's the thing that a lot of us in different professions, we make it more difficult than it needs to be. And I think that's where the lack of calling to action. I know for our team, and then I was thinking about a lot of the other real estate businesses and teams around here. And I'm going like, okay, so we definitely aren't doing this right now, but who is really doing strong calls to action? And I'm talking like, Miles, if you're thinking about buying a house, call me now. Do it today. Here's my link. Here's my phone number. Click and schedule. Do it right now. Don't wait. It's getting very proactive on that. People all the time. What the shit? Oops. I'm calling my buddy Gene Volpe. Sorry, Gene. But I mean, we aren't now, aggressive might be the wrong word, but we're not proactive enough. We want to be fluffy unicorns and sherbet all day long and let everybody just come to us. But nobody can just read what you're thinking. All right. The analogy in the book was, when he was in his dating years, which cracked me up, he would ask girls out, but he would ask them out like this. So I like coffee. Coffee's good. Do you like coffee? And what is a woman supposed to do with that? Yeah, coffee's good. Okay, yeah. Instead of just going like, hey, I dig you. I think you dig me. I want to spend some time with you. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Now, if someone said that to you, Miles, which one do you know what my intentions are?
The second one, obviously, but it sounds so much easier in actually doing it. You mentioned something earlier about why am I afraid to ask for the business? They mentioned something in the chapter about do you believe in your product?
Yes.
I think when you first get started in the industry, there's one of two things that happen. One, you're a little nervous when you go out for sales because you don't know as much of your product because you're still a little bit new.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other one, especially in real estate, whether it's even a few months ago when people were nervous about the market, you have to really believe in your product to be able to sell it, even if there's uncertainty out there. I had some buyers that when the coronavirus first hit and they full-fledged believed in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And that confidence in our ability to sell and knowing that real estate over time will continue to go up makes it so much easier to sell and have that confidence that you just mentioned. Just go out there and say it. Hey, buy with me. Now's a great time. I could do your loan. I could do your sale right now. Don't go anywhere else. Here it is. I'm right here. So I think that's much easier.
It is. I have a good friend of mine. His name is Stefan Adika. So Stefan, if you're watching, much love, brother. What I really like about Stefan is that, you know, he got in and he has a thing called Coffee with Adika. It's on YouTube every morning at 8 a.m. And when he just started his YouTube channel, I'm talking like 20 people are on his YouTube channel. Right now there's like hundreds, if not thousands on the show. He would immediately, he referred to himself as a YouTube sensation. Stefan, how are you doing, man? I'm great. I'm a YouTube sensation. He said it over and over and over again, right? to the point where, like, I know Stefan, and I would actually start introducing him. Hi, this is guys. Miles meet Stefan. Stefan meet Miles. Stefan is a YouTube sensation, and I literally would say that because he believes in himself so much, and he does a really good job with the show that he just puts it out into the universe. Like, hey, I'm a YouTube sensation. Okay, so bow down. He doesn't say the bow down part, but I mean that's the same thing about taking ownership and, like you said, believing in your product. I've gone through this problem with real estate of not believing in my product because society tells you that, oh, if you're a real estate agent, then you're not a professional. You are a goofball, a silly person. You do it half-assed. You're that weirdo on the TV show or on the movie. Well, it couldn't be any further from the truth because the content and the professionalism that we're delivering is helping people buy one of the biggest assets of their life. Now, a lot of people say it's the only asset when people buy one house a lifetime, but whatever the amount of homes are, it's a big investment, bro. Lots of dollars and cents go into this thing. So why wouldn't we be proud of this? Why wouldn't we hold our head up high when we talk about it? But a lot of us don't. And I think it's a big problem. So here's a question for you, Miles. Let's say someone doesn't believe in their product. What would you tell them?
Me personally, I would say you have to, if they don't believe in it, like wholeheartedly, I would say do something else.
Yeah. Chase another dream. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. If you don't believe in what you're doing and what you're selling, then there's no point in being in it. You'll never be successful. You have to love it. I think that's why sometimes when I talk about real estate, it's just like a second nature. People feel the energy because they know how passionate I am about it. And it comes off as expertise, which it probably is. But for me, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just telling you what's going on, what I'm doing, giving you information. I freaking love it. You know, there were two things in there. There were two kinds of call to action. Do you remember what those were?
Yes, but I'm going to cheat. They have the direct call to action and they have the transitional calls to action. So
you remember what direct one is?
The direct is basically, hey, will you marry me? You know, it's like getting into a committed relationship right out of the gate. It's like, hey, Miles, hey, I want you to buy these almonds. Buy my almonds. And Miles like, no, I don't want to buy your almonds. Okay, Miles, would you like? And then transitional would be, hey, Miles, would you like a free sample of my almonds? And it's able to lead people into the sale. But the direct call to action, you break it down for me. Which one do you like more? It's actually a good question.
You know what? I thought about this when I was reading it. I like the transitional. I'm not really a direct guy. I like, hey, let me show you a preview of what you're getting, and then if you're interested, come aboard. I'm not, hey, take this loan right now. Even in sales, what I do with I'm doing a lot of refinances right now, obviously because of the interest rates. Mm-hmm. But I never say you have to refinance a second with this interest rate. I say, hey, let's talk about your scenario. Okay, cool. Send me your paperwork. I'll get your paperwork. Let me send you a couple options. Let me know which one calls to you. I don't say this is the program you need to do because everybody does a 30-year fixed refinance. I say, dude, what's your goals? What are you looking for? You know, have a conversation. I think that is more my style than a direct buy right now.
Yeah, I think there's a good blend. There's a use for each one of them. You know, if you're trying to, you can do the direct calls to action. Like, let's say I offered out a white paper or something on, you know, the top 7 things you need to have in your seller seminar for it to be a success. Download my PDF, right? That's a transitional. Once they get into my ecosystem and they're on my pages, now I can put the direct call to action of like, book an appointment today, call now, reserve time with Greg immediately, do something along those lines. But I'm with you. I like the transitional, because I'm not a hard sales guy. I don't like being sold hard. I don't like to come across that way. I like to give first, and then if people resonate, then okay, great. Let's see if we can do something together. But I don't want to force them to do anything. And I think the ABCs of selling, always be closing. I mean, that's Glengarry Glen Ross, but that's an old school tactic. And I think that with what we're doing in today's day and age, content marketing, very much like this, is something that's going to be more powerful because you get to know Miles, you get to know me, you get to know kind of our thought patterns. And then if you resonate with one of us and you know that I do real estate, Miles does loans, then you're like, maybe we'll be top of mind because we're consistently there. That's my personal favorite way to go about it.
Have you ever watched that movie Boiler Room?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Boiler Room, similar to The Wolf of Wall Street, and I was just watching. I've never seen it before.
Oh, really?
I've never seen it before. And then the sales guy, was it just about making phone calls? They give him a list of leads, and then there was one client that was a little bit more. They kind of highlighted that client that he was talking to, and the guy was just kind of, he knew he was screwing him over, but he's like, hey, the market's, no, they had an example with Vin Diesel, and they were selling a doctor on these new.
The doctor.
Yeah, the doctor on these new, this new IPO that's coming out with this new medicine that's going to revitalize everything else. He's like, I'm only limiting you to 1,000 shares. The first guy's like, what the hell? That's so many shares? And then the guy ended up asking, why are you only selling me 100 or 1,000? And then he's like, well, I want you to get to know me, but I got so many other clients right now. If you're not interested, I got to go work on them. I don't have time. If you want to ask all these questions, you either get in or get out. And then the guy did it. That kind of reminded me a little bit of the buy now of the direct. And I just didn't see myself that way, but I thought that scene was just so, hey, you got buy now. The market's changing right now. You just have to do it right now. Otherwise, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose the savings.
Well, it's the pullback sales method. It's the, hey, this is what I have for you. Oh, I don't think this is the right fit. Oh, you want all of it. Okay, there you go. People always want what they can't have. So if you it's like dating or anything else. If you're all up on a girl and she's like, yeah, bro, like pump the brakes, homie. No, I'm cool. But if you're just like, you know what? I'm not sure if we're a good fit. I did that to my current girlfriend. I didn't intentionally do it, but she and I were supposed to go on our first date, and I called her up mainly because I was really nervous. And I said, you know what? I don't feel well. I don't really think this is going to work. We'll have to reschedule. And she got so pissed at me. She went down to see her sister, and then she texted me when she gets back, and she's like, so are we going to go out or are you just going to always be sick? And I'm like,
your girlfriend is so direct. It's so funny.
There is zero bullshit with that woman.
No, there's zero. So I think that direct one, so they had some examples on there. Order now, call today. Are we doing this or not? Schedule an appointment. I added, are we doing this or not? Register today, buy now. I think the transitional one had 3 other powerful things that kind of they went over. So transition can be equally as powerful to your business. So it's another way. And I didn't understand these as much. They had 3 of them. Stake a claim to your territory.
So staking a claim to your territory would be something like if I was to say, nation's best real estate trainer, top real estate trainer. And I talked to my buddy Jake about this, and I'm like, Jake, why am I going to say I'm calling myself the world's, nation's best trainer? He's like, because everyone else is a coach. And I'm like, oh, that's a good point, sir. You know what? And Stefan is a YouTube sensation. He's putting a stake in the ground. He's claiming this turf as his, right? So, hey guys, Miles, what was your nickname I gave you on the radio show?
I was a master of all mortgages.
There's your claim. There's your stake. Stick it in the ground.
Okay, that makes total sense. I actually like that a lot, by the way. what he told you about the trainer versus
Do it.
coach.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is a coach.
Everybody's
People in businesses are business coaches.
so true. By the way, coaching, I have zero desire to do coaching. Training, I'll train all damn day. But coaching is like an overworked mother hen. You have to run around and chase people down to do shit they don't want to do, but they're paying you to be on their ass about it. And it just makes it for an uncomfortable conversation. So I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
Okay. The second one is create reciprocity.
Okay.
Basically, it says give freely. You know kind of what that one's referring to?
Yeah, so reciprocity is the whole mindset of give first, receive after. Something my father's always talked about is bless, prosper, and then receive. When it goes in those orders. So here's an example. My podcast, Real Estate Uncensored, which most of you are familiar with. If you don't, go follow me on YouTube or just follow me here on Facebook. And what Matt and I, my co-host and I have been doing, we've been giving at a zero ask and return for over 5 years with nearing 600 episodes of us just giving content, giving value, paying it forward. For a year and a half, almost 2 years, I did 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nights at 6 p.m. Pacific. I would do free coaching to anybody that would sign up. Dude, I'm not kidding you. At one point, I was booked a year and a half in advance. And I cut it off at that point. I'm like, you motherfuckers are crazy to wait a year and a half to have a coaching call with me. But you know what? People are telling me, huh? I train, but we call it coaching then. A training call with me. Training. Thank you. Thank you. But you know what? 99.9% of the people kept that on their calendar for up to a year and a half. And I met some of the most incredible human beings who I'm still friends with today doing those calls. But that's reciprocity. You give and you give and you give. Gary V, jab, 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 right hook. Give, 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 ask, right? Because reciprocity, when it builds up in you, like if there's a chemical connection when people receive something of value at no cost, they're like physically compelled to give back to the person that gave to them initially. So you could do this stuff forever and a day, and then you turn around and be like, "Hey, you want to talk about joining EXP? Let's talk. I think we could do well together." Like I took a call yesterday from a past coaching. This was a coaching client. Now it's a training client. I call them training clients. And I just hit her up. I'm like, "Hey, Monica, you want to get on the phone real quick? I got a question to ask you." She's like, "Greg, I'll always take a call from you." And so it's just because that level of relationship has been built. But a lot of people just ask for everything up front. They're like, I want to make $1 million. Great. You have to teach me everything. Instead of you going like, hey, I want to learn from you. You know, what's my next step? And then allow people to give to you, and then you can pay it forward down to someone else another time. But that, reciprocity is one of my favorite things, because you can never, ever, 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 ever give too much valuable content to where people won't come back and see that value and want to repay you. And a lot of us just don't see it that way. But I challenge everybody who's listening to this live. I challenge Miles, right in front of me, to give your best content away for free. None of your fellow agents are going to take your ideas and use them the way you use them. I will guarantee you this. Why do I guarantee you that? Because I did it for 4 years when I was the head trainer at my old brokerage. I laid out my playbook. I laid out my tools that I used. Ain't nobody used it. It was hilarious. It's hilarious.
You mentioned that you go to these coaching seminar stuff and they give you all the tools that they can, which is fantastic. But most people can't even walk away with 10% of what you get. And I'm guilty of that too. It's so difficult to implement all the things that they're spewing at you, not spewing, but giving you. And it's just, I think that's absolutely 100% true.
Yeah.
The last one on here is position yourself as the guide. You kind of went into that, but it says when you help your customer solve a problem, even for free, you position yourself as the guide, which is what you kind of mentioned. The next time they encounter a problem in that area of their lives, they will look to you for help.
Mm-hmm.
So there was something where they have a few ideas to create transitional calls to action on your own. One of them we talked about is free information, which you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Position yourself, you as a guide in your customer story, and create reciprocity. Education videos, what you do, podcasts, webinars, even live events are great transitional calls to action. There's another one, which I don't think I do enough of. I have a Yelp page. This one's called testimonials.
Yeah.
I have a Yelp page with my info that clients go on there with, and I have probably 25 to 26. A few of them aren't actually posted, but they're still 22 to 23 or something like that. I wish I had better testimonial places where people could go on, but I think testimonials is another big one. I've had people go on there. They've been referred to me, and they've actually told me on the phone the first time I talked to them, "Oh yeah, I checked your Yelp page. It sounds like you do a pretty good job." I'm like, "Ah, thank you."
Okay. All right. There's a gal. Her name is Patina, out of Florida. Wonderful woman, and she made a Facebook page, and it's called Patina Reviews, or Patina Testimonials, or Testimonials for Patina, and it's just a Facebook page full of videos of all of her clients giving her the thumbs up, like you rock kind of a thing. And I'm like, huh. That's an interesting thing, because if you can make that a business page, right, then you can boost that business page and put $5 behind it indefinitely in your local market area. Now everyone who's looking around to do anything, and they keep seeing this testimonial page pop up, and they keep seeing you, and they keep listening to these videos. Dude, can you imagine the impact of that? Holy mackerel. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I think hearing what other people have to say, if it's genuine, can make all the difference. I remember vividly clients telling me, because sometimes when they get referred to someone they don't know, people will Google them or check on them, and if you have something else that gives you good positive feedback, it'll just suffice. It'll just strengthen the relationship before you even talk. So
I couldn't agree with you more.
One of the other ones is samples. So offering a customer the ability to test drive a car, taste your seasoning, sample your music, read a few pages. I think for us in real estate, maybe it's a little bit harder. I think for me, the sample is, hey, let me give you an idea of what you'd be saving in the monthly payment. Or let me give you an example of a few options we can give you. I think for that would be an example for me. In real estate, I'm not sure if you have that ability to give a sample, but maybe you do, because maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, maybe it can be like if you have a postcard with your previous listings or what you got above asking, or that's an example or a sample of some of the stuff that you got.
Yeah.
The last one is a free trial, offering limited time free trial to remove risk removal. I think this goes along. I think we can always, in real estate, most of our business is free trials until they actually do.
Yeah, true. It is so true.
So I'm not sure that this one, I think this one's a given for our industry.
Well, let's brainstorm that for a second, right? So I can't send you a sample bag of my almonds, even though they're super good and they're wasabi with soy sauce. Okay. But that's like farmer market status right there. You go to a farmer's market, well, before COVID, you could test like a couple of nuts or a little bit of a sliced up piece of fruit or something like that, which would then be, oh, damn, that's really good. Like in Costco. Why do you think all those people are giving out free food in Costco? Well, one, because they like to feed me, and when I was broke as shit, I just go to Costco and eat lunch and dinner. But it's because they wanted us to get involved in their product. So what could we give away as real estate professionals? Could we give testimonials? Could we give, would it be videos or written? Would it be maybe an example of like, hey, Miles, we'll look forward to helping you sell one of your properties. Here's just one thing that we do that no one else does when it comes to marketing, and you can show them something that's a little bit off the wall, a little bit different. I don't know. It's kind of where I've kind of landed at the top of that.
Michelle says market reports, where if you produce these, give them comps on their home and show them how you work. Good examples.
Yeah, we can always do that. You know what? Market reports are always good. You know, if we're doing that, we can do like a RPR report, send that over to them, let them know that it's just a computer generated program. We look forward to seeing them. You know, that's still I thought it would be very cliche at this moment, but it's not. You know,
there is something else that they mentioned, and I didn't. The section in the chapter is called "Connecting the Dots." I actually really like this little section. It's only a couple paragraphs,
okay.
and I wasn't sure how it totally. I think it came into if you have multiple products, don't just sell one. If you're doing like a call to action, they had an example of a clinic. And oftentimes you go to, let's say, the doctor's office. Well, you know what? I went one time to a cosmetology place because I had scars for acne. I kind of wanted to work out. And I went in there. And oftentimes when you go to the doctor or somewhere else, they usually have magazines that you look at. I always liked as a kid, you know, you look at a magazine, you read some gossip, whatever it is. But their recommendation to this business was, why don't you put videos of other items that you also do? So I remember when I went to this place, I was just going in for some acne treatment stuff, not acne, but scar treatment, and they had different videos instead of magazines showing other stuff that they did. They did stuff like liposuction. They did stuff with facelifts, breast augmentation, all this other stuff. And then I started. I don't think it was a good thing for me or most humans. Like, what else can I get done here? Well, but I guess in this section, it was kind of referring to that. Hey, if you have a business and you offer their stuff, probably the customer's coming in with something else. But let's see if they need anything, any other products or services that you offer in your service. Mm-hmm. So I actually particularly like that because I was like, oh man, that's such a simple idea, but it can probably generate a lot of business if you do offer multiple items. So I really like that little section.
You know, that just got my mind working because I remember that story that he told in the book. And, you know, I was, because when I was running, I'm like, how in the heck can I associate that with real estate, right? Well, what about, and Michelle had a good idea about taking buyers out for one day and showing them how you work, right? But when you're working with someone to buy something, why don't you have not an extensive, but some sort of a pamphlet or handout or some sort of video, talking about the fact that I don't just help people buy condos. I help them, sell condos. I help them buy single families. I also help them up to buy, up to 4-unit, investment properties here in the area. So you open your opportunities up significantly. And hey, maybe even if you're a starting off agent, you help people rent properties, right? And so it's just, if they don't know, they don't know. And also let them know what kind of areas and price points you work in. I've had a lot of people, since I generally work in more or less the air quotes luxury marketplace. Like I'll hear like someone, they were going to sell their house and be like, dude, like, what's up? Like, what I do. And they're like, oh, Greg, our home was only, $500,000. We didn't think that you would, take a listing at that level. I'm like, you didn't even ask. Because I didn't tell them that I work in all ranges. It was my fault. It's not their fault. It's my fault for not conveying my value to another human being and allowing them to know what I do. I mean,
you hear this all the time where people are like, oh, you do real estate in that area? Oh, I didn't know you worked with foreclosures or short sales or estate sales. It's like they don't know. You're totally right. I think in the quote in the book that says, remember, people are drawn to clarity away from confusion. You literally have to tell them. Not even tell them. You have to remind them consistently what you do.
Yeah. Like I get a lot of times, and Michelle will come back to the question in a second, but I mean, people will come up to me, and this is when I've made a very concerted effort in the last several months to post consistently something about real estate, something about something personal, right? So I went for a run today. I saw that they opened up the playgrounds here at a local park here in Walnut Creek, and I just posted on Facebook and Instagram going like, hey, Someone pulled their head out of their ass. Finally, they're opening it up for the kids. These kids need some sort of an outlet. Thank God they finally they had chain link fences around all the school, all around the playgrounds. How fucking bullshit is that?
I saw your video.
But I also posted one about, hey, which one would you get? Would you give up? The garage door or the disposal? It's real estate related, right? Because I'm not going to have another client or friend or past client go, oh, we thought you just did all that podcasting and video work. You're still selling real estate? I'm like, yes, I do. God, man. But let's look at this question really quickly. You said earlier, no one gives anything away because they are afraid you'll steal their stuff. The digital presence seems obvious, but I'm consistently shocked at the lack of presence of most agents. Yeah, people, it doesn't matter. What you could. I mean, I have literally given them the game plan. I've given the phone number to my team manager Eileen. Say, hire her. She'll run your deals. She's amazing. You can go out there and do stuff. All this stuff people just don't believe. My boy Jake Wolf, with Clever Leads with a K, I mean, he gives away all his best content, and guess what? People are coming to him like crackheads. They just won't stop beating down his door. Why? Because he's giving value. He's telling people exactly what to do, and he's taking action on a daily basis. Those are three things that a lot of us don't do, and that's why sometimes our business does we have highs, we have lows. We have highs, we have lows, but as long as you stay even with your content delivery and your schedule on that, you're going to see a boom in your business. So, Miles, what are you going to give away? What's going to be that? What's going to be that jab, jab, jab?
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. That's a good question. You know what I consistently give away? And I tell everyone this. I'm not as good at texting. If someone texts me or sends me a text, not only will it take me a little longer to get back to them, but I can't go deeper into conversations and really give away info. I say, I'm better on the phone. Give me a call. And when I'm on the phone, I give that person my full attention and time. And for me, if someone has the time and the effort to give me a call, I usually spend quite a bit of time with them and go over everything that is required. So for me, when I get a client, it's just about giving them information so they can make the most informed decision on whatever they're doing: purchase, refinance, investing, whatever.
Right.
That's kind of the thing that I give away most. Right now, I can't think of anything more than that.
Okay, good, solid content, guys. I can attest. Look, I've worked with Miles for a while. He is zero BS. Like we were going to do a loan. And this takes a serious person to stand up and do this. My girlfriend was buying her new house, and we were going to use Miles. But then COVID hit, and a lot of things hit. And he's like, "Hey, I just can't beat the rates you're getting from other people. You should probably go use them." Do you understand that not many mortgage guys and gals are going to even utter those words out loud, let alone think of them, let alone say them to a client? That's this kind of the human being that Miles is. So when you get advice from him, believe you me, it will be legitimate, it will be accurate, and it'll be for the best of you, not him, which is unheard of. So congratulations.
I was my mouth closed. Like, maybe you should go somewhere else.
But you did it. All right. So
I think that's it for this chapter.
Okay.
I think we have the next chapter. Let me look in my book here.
As Miles is looking, guys, we have Miles's number up on the screen. So you guys can reach out to him, talk to him about mortgages, pick his brain, see what his favorite color is, ask when he can come over and clean your car for you. I mean, there's a variety of different things Miles does. He's a giver.
Thank you. Listen to my. Okay, so the next chapter is called "That Helps Them Avoid Failure." I think this one chapter is going to have to do with people want to avoid failure as much as possible. They're always going to seek guidance. I think that's what it's going to go into, but we will find out next week. Yeah,
it's going to be a blast. Guys, get a hold of Miles. His number is here, 925-360-8136 is his phone number. My number, guys, as always, 925-915-1978. I encourage all of you guys to go out and pick up a copy of this book. It's right here. Miles is holding it. It is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Fantastic book. They have stuff that you can go and you can work offline and create your storyline and your story and building your story. It's been an eye-opening experience. I haven't really studied this book that much, but I'll tell you one thing, as Miles, as you and I have been going through it, I'll tell you one thing, I'm picking up a lot of good stuff. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more. I'm thoroughly enjoying not only reading the book, but our chance to recap it. I've never done a book club, so this is it's quite fun. We just need to be more consistent.
Yes, we do.
Next week.
Yes, and you know what? I am guilty of it. You're guilty of it. Life happens, but you know what? We're still here. We're still pushing forward. And I, like you, man, I've never been a part of a book club. I'm dyslexic. Why the hell would I join a book club? But you know what? It's fun. So, you guys, until next time, reach out to either Miles or I if we can do anything to help you. But until next time, guys, boom, peace. We love you. We're out.